Hello, welcome to the Law Show. We did our video on the illegality of magistrates freezing people's accounts. The illegality of magistrates freezing people's accounts. And I want to thank all of you who watched. That show was, explosive. We got so many views, so many comments, so many likes, and thank you very much. Thank you. If you are just coming for the first time to our the Law Show, I want to welcome you. I'm always glad, to have you here. Let me know that you pass by leaving me a comment, okay? Just find the comment section to leave a comment or to subscribe. Please do subscribe and click the notification bell so that you can always get notified of videos when I upload them. All right? Now, we did that show on the illegality of magistrates issuing freezing orders on bank accounts. We demonstrated that it was illegal. It's something that no magistrate should do. We demonstrated that even when the police ask a magistrate to do so, you shouldn't do so at all. But the question arose from somebody, how can he unfreeze, such an order when it's been used to freeze his account? That is, a banker's order has been issued by a magistrate to freeze an account. How can it be unfrozen? Okay, I hope that's good English. Unfrozen. So we're going to talk about this when we come back. Please do not go away. We'll just take a brief break and we'll be right back. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
For more exciting, educative, and entertaining programs such as Law and You, Talk Politics, Entertainment Gist, Relationship Talk, and other programs, keep watching Pinnacle TV. You can watch, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pinnacle TV Online. You can also visit our website at www.pinnacletv.com. Follow us on Facebook at Pinnacle TV Online or call us on 081 546 999 89. Pinnacle TV, top quality broadcasting.
Yeah, so we're talking about how to unfreeze a magistrate's banker's order on your account, where the account has been blocked by the bank due to a magistrate's freezing order. What steps do you take to unfreeze it? So we're going to be talking about we're looking at 4 ways that you can get this order to be unfrozen and to be removed from your account. Okay, we get the bank to remove the freezing order from your account so that you can do your business legitimately. Now, the first what I will do, the first thing, which is what I recommend, the first step to take, the first potent step to take is to write a letter to the registrar of the magistrate court demanding for the certified true copy of the order and all the documents that were used to obtain the order. Okay, so you want to write a letter saying to the registrar of that court, I need a copy of the order, I need to see all the documents that were used, and I need you to certify them for me, and I also want you to give me the suit number, the charge number, the complaint, or whatever. Chances are that when this application is received by the registrar of the court, the registrar would normally forward it to the magistrate who issued the order, and this will set some inquiry. This will set them, thinking and asking questions and wondering, what's going on and all that. And usually they would want to review, to say, okay, come, what happened? And then they would try to get the order removed or get the order discharged, or call the IPO and sort of get the order discharged. So that's the first thing, I would sort of inform you that it's a possibility. You write a letter to the magistrate, asking for documents, and if it's not immediately removed, then you trigger number 2, which is you write the same magistrate to set aside the order. Okay, you write the magistrate to set aside the order. And you can do the first one, which is writing the letter to the registrar for the CTC of the documents. You can do that, and this second one, asking the magistrate to set aside the order. You can do both, simultaneously or consecutively. What I mean by that is, either you write the letter to the registrar first, and then, wait to get the documents. And once you get the documents, you can then submit a formal application by way of a letter to the magistrate asking, who him or her is worshipped to set aside the order. Now, in your letter, you'll be well positioned to, rebut or counteract or contradict some of the things you would have seen in the documents that you used to obtain the order. You'll be able to tell the magistrate, that was wrong, this was wrong, you've been totally misled, and it's regrettable, but you need to set aside the order. So you can do that by letter. Or if the magistrate insists, then you can do it by motion or notice. You can file a motion and serve the police, and for the order to be set aside. So that's two ways, two things you should do. Okay. The third one, if a magistrate has already frozen your bank account, how to unfreeze it. The third one you probably want to do is if the magistrate refuses to set aside that order, or even without approaching that magistrate to set aside the order, you can petition the magistrate to either the supervising judge for that judicial division or the magisterial district. You can petition the magistrate, write a letter to the supervising judge and complain, look at what this magistrate has done, without recourse to me, without even hearing from me, without a case being filed, with no parties appearing, no summons served, no charge filed. He just froze my account. So you can write to the supervising judge in that area, or you write to the chief judge of the state judiciary if you are in the city, or to the chairman of the Administration of Justice Monitoring Committee. So every state has an Administration of Justice Monitoring Committee. The chairman, again, is the chief judge of the state. In some states, I can't know all the laws of all the states, if there are variations. But by and large, it should be the chief judge. So the chief judge sits in her personal capacity as the chief judge, and then there is this committee made up of the Attorney General, made up of the Commissioner of Police, I think it's now the state, what they call the state controller of the correctional service, used to be called the prison service. You have the SSS there, I think you have the immigration there, you have civil society there, you have the Nigerian Bar Association, the state branch chairman of the NBA or representative, etc., etc. So you have this, grand concourse of eminent people, and then the chief judge is the chairperson. So now, if you write a letter to that, august body through their chairman or the secretary, complaining about the conduct or the action of this particular magistrate, you can be sure that you will get some hearing. There will be some investigation. The magistrate will be asked to, make some comments, and I very, 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 very much doubt any magistrate that will be want to put himself or herself in a position to respond to such a request for information, or I don't want to call it a query, saying, can you justify issuing this order? Don't forget, if you watch the show that we did, we've said that the law or the purported law or the supposed law of 1847, the Bankers Order Act of 1847, is non-existent in Nigeria. So, it will be difficult for the magistrate to begin to justify, having relied on a non-existent law to freeze the account of a Nigerian without recourse to the person and all of that. So, but, you've got to do, that which you've got to do. If you are in that position, you need to get across to your lawyer and get your lawyer to assist you to do some of this. So, I'm going to take a short break, and then when we come back, we'll continue how to unfreeze a magistrate's banker's order. Please don't go away. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
For more exciting, educative, law and you, talk politics, entertainment gist, relationship talk, and other programs. Keep watching Pinnacle TV. You can watch, like, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pinnacle TV Online. You can also visit our website at www.pinnacletv.com. Follow us on Facebook at Pinnacle TV Online or call us on 081 546 99989. Pinnacle TV, top quality broadcasting.
Okay, so we're looking at how to unfreeze magistrate's banker's order. We've talked about three ways you could adopt. So we're looking at the fourth one now. I would recommend you, if your account has been frozen either for an extended period of time, it's cost you some disruption, you've severally tried to get it unfrozen without some success, you want to approach the High Court with a fundamental rights claim, or if you depending on what your lawyer thinks, with a writ of summons, okay, or originating summons, okay. So you can use any of those. Even a fundamental rights claim, you can use originating motion, writ of summons, or whatever, where you will not be seeking the setting aside of the order. You ask the court to set aside the banker's order and ask for substantial damages against, wait for it, you sue for damages against, by damages I mean compensation. You sue for compensation from the police. They are entitled to pay you compensation. The magistrate himself or herself, and then the bank. So you can ask for damages from the police, the magistrate, and the bank. Now, why the police? Well, first, it is the police that would have gone to the magistrate to get that order. So they are obviously number one to be sued. Seeking to get an order to freeze your account without recourse to you, with no investigation, with no allegation, no charge, nothing. So they have to pay for it. For the disruption they've caused your business, inconveniences, the pain, the loss, or probably loss of contracts, you are not able to do this and that because you didn't have access to your account. All of that they will have to pay. So the police, in my opinion, will be defenseless, because we've said it in a previous episode of this show, the law show, that this Bankers Order Act, or the Bankers Evidence Act, or whatever it's called, of 1800s or 1847, is a non-existent law. So if the police use a non-existent law to get an order underhand, under the table, illegally, then they have to pay for it. So that is the police. Then the magistrate also. There is the authority on the one hand that magistrate is immune from civil proceedings for actions that she takes when such a magistrate, in good faith believes that he or she has the authority to do what she did. So that's on one hand. If the magistrate believes in good faith, she does anything pursuant to a judicial office, and she in good faith believes that she has powers to do so, you cannot actually sue her. But the difference is that in this case, she would not have been exercising a judicial function, because she was not sitting over a case. I keep saying she. So magistrates are he and some are she, but in all respects, we refer to magistrates in the male gender. So he would not have been sitting over a case. No case was filed before him. There is no case filed. There is no charge. There is no summon. There is absolutely nothing. So on what basis would the magistrate then say, oh, I believe that I have the power to do this? Okay? What is your power? The magistrate will have to justify the belief. You can't say, I relied on a law that is non-existent. I didn't know the law was non-existent. Well, that would not be too smart, I should respectfully think. So I should expect that, a judicial officer, with all due respect, should know the law. So for a judicial officer to rely on a law that is non-existent could actually jeopardize the concept, you know, of respectability for judicial officers. So on that basis, I would think that no judicial officer will want to rely on a non-existent law to make bankers order. So that is for the magistrate. So we've said people that can be sued: the police, the magistrate, and the bank. Now the bank will be sued and will be liable because they are, you know, in a fiduciary relationship with their customer. The customer has opened an account, has put some money there, and if the bank receives a court order, it's their duty to look at the order and find out whether it's a legal order, whether it's a valid order. And if it's not a valid order, they have a duty to, you know, make that point to the customer promptly, to go and challenge it without, you know, actually proceeding to, you know, jeopardize the customer's business interests. So the bank knows what a court order looks like. A court order, for purpose of this, you know, conversation, a court order starts with, in the magistrate courts of Lagos State, or in the magistrate court of the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja, or in the magistrate court of Yobe State, holding Adamaturu, or in the magistrate court of Lagos State, holding at Ogba, court number 2, Ikeja. Before the name of the magistrate will be there, or the date, the suit number or charge number will be on the right-hand corner, top right-hand corner. Either the suit number or the charge number will be there. Then the parties. You cannot have a judgment or order or ruling without parties. You can't. You can't. So there must be parties between the state versus Mr. Majekodume or whoever, or between the Commissioner of Police versus John James. Okay, if your name is John James, I'm just using that name. That's the name that just popped up. So it's not really that you've committed an offense. So I'm saying that there should be a heading, there should be a suit number, there should be parties, and then you have, after that, either a ruling, a judgment, or enrollment of order. So it will now be summarized. The order will be summarized. And every order must be signed by at least 2 persons. It can never be signed by one court official. The presiding judge signs, or the presiding magistrate will sign, and then the registrar of the court will sign. So 2 people from the court must sign every valid court order. There is no court order that is signed by only one court official. No. You cannot have an order signed only by a magistrate. Okay, so there must be 2. That's, you know, that's an enrollment of order, or a judgment, or a certified true copy, okay, of the order. So these are elementary characteristics of an order. So my point is, a bank should be able to check this and know that if there's a banker's order and you have been complying with it before now, every bank should realize now, after watching this video, you check the law yourself, that it is, bankers' orders are illegal in our Nigerian jurisprudence. They are illegal in our Nigerian jurisprudence. In fact, there was a high court in Lagos State that froze the accounts of a Lagos lawyer years ago. And the Court of Appeal Lagos Judicial Division was very scathing in their comments against that judge who made that order. In fact, they went ahead to say, you know, did the judge not read the law? Why? How could they have made an order for the police to freeze somebody's account? And they quickly, you know, removed the order freezing the account. Okay? Now, I need to say something here. There was a case for the Court of Appeal Just Division where the Court of Appeal held that a magistrate that goes outside the judicial functions to make orders or to do things cannot rely on the legal immunity. You know, that's the case of Candidate Johnson. Candidate Johnson versus Ademola, I think. Candidate Johnson versus Onyedigi. Yes, that's the authority. Candidate Johnson, Onyedigi. We'll try to get the correct citation and put it for you on this video so you can get it at this point, okay? Candidate Johnson versus Onyedigi. So I think that was a case where a lawyer that appeared before this magistrate to argue a case, and after the proceedings, the magistrate has signed off, case adjourned to so date. After that, the magistrate, began to engage the lawyer in an altercation. Which school were you called? I don't like your style of practice. I don't like the way you talk, and blah, blah, blah. And then, of course, it degenerated with the lawyer replying the magistrate and saying, if you don't like the way I talk, that's your business. I can talk the way I want. And then the magistrate, committed the lawyer for contempt. And when he went to the Court of Appeal, from the High Court to the Court of Appeal, the High Court was very unhappy, and they said, I think Justice Nikki Toby was at the Court of Appeal then, said that magistrate was very lucky that damages were not sought. Compensation was not sought by that lawyer against her. If the lawyer had sought compensation, would have awarded compensation. I look for the authority and I'll put it so that you can read it for yourself. So that should show that it's not in every case that a magistrate, can say, oh, I'm immune. You have to be extremely careful to act within the bounds of the law. You must have been acting pursuant to an existing law, and you must have been acting in your capacity as a magistrate, sitting as a magistrate, not in your chambers. If you sit in your chambers, somebody is passing by, you say, call me that person. You sign a warrant to put that person in prison from your chambers. That is not justifiable. Okay, so these are things that you should bear in mind. We've looked at 4 ways you can get a magistrate to unfreeze, a banker's order. I hope that you've gotten something. Do let me know what you think by, leaving a comment for us, or, give us a thumbs up if you like this video. If you don't like it, give us a thumbs down. Don't worry about it. Just either give us a thumbs up or give us a thumbs down, depending on whether you like the video or whether you don't like the video. And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe so that you can always get regular updates on our videos, and then click the notification bell so that you'll be notified when we upload videos. Thank you for watching. A pleasure coming your way again. 24 hours, 7 days a week.
For more exciting, educative, and entertaining programs such as Law and You, Talk Politics, Entertainment Gist, Relationship Talk, and other programs, keep watching Pinnacle TV. You can watch live and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Pinnacle TV Online. You can also visit our website at www.pinnacletv.com. Follow us on Facebook at Pinnacle TV Online, or call us on 081 546 99989. Pinnacle TV, top quality broadcasting.